Yo, what is up, my people? What is up, my people? It's your boy, Jason Guna. And you know, we are back again. Live content for the people. You don't know, it's the Jamaica versus Mexico tactical preview show. Yes, we're going to talk about all things Jamaica, Mexico. Of course, Jamaica gets the ball rolling tomorrow night against Mexico. First group game. It will be in Houston at the NRG Stadium. So yes, people, we're looking forward to that one greatly, people. We can't wait. So we're going to do a tactical breakdown tonight, go through potential lineups, predicted 11s, look at both teams. Found a cool app that we're going to work with tonight. I think you guys will enjoy it. Very interactive, so you can see in real time what's going on. Of course, we're going to make the show as interactive as possible. So we will pick some lineups of those watching and put them on the screen as well. And you don't know, we always want to be graded on our coaching skills, right? So yes, we can always do our ratings for the squads as well. So this is going to be a fun one, people. As we get down to the business end of things when it comes on to the Reggae Boys, this is the part that I really love, because we get to dive into the tactical views, try to see how we can get a positive result tomorrow night versus Mexico. You know, the last time we played them was in that Gold Cup semifinals. Leading into that game, I was saying to myself, boy, Jamaica, if they're going to get a positive result in this semi, they're going to need to not concede early. And of course, from a counter-attack, an attacking free kick for us, close to the corner flag, we are dispossessed, we have a mix-up in defense, and we're down 1-0. So obviously, that is what we don't want to duplicate, and we are going to try to see how we can avoid something like that happening. Of course, when Marin Garden was asked about the last game we played against them, he put it down to a lot of individual errors. In a way that is true, but I think there was a lot more we could have done in the run of play as well to give ourselves a better chance. And we're going to discuss some of those things tonight. So no hitching, people, as in the community, the YouTube things that you have to do for us. Please like the video, share the content. Yeah, man, anybody that interested in the Reggae Boys, interested in football and in general, you can share the content and share the channel, because I think once they hear us discuss the football and they like football, they will return for some more. All right, so those that favor people help the channel to grow. As I see, the resident housekeeping, Fresh God always in the building, letting people know the status of the channel and everything. So big up yourself, Fresh God. Always a support, letting them know we're at 836 subs, people. So definitely getting our way towards that 1K. That's a big first step for the channel, people, and we're gonna get there. I'm not even worried about that. But you don't know, people, we're gonna keep on putting out the content for you guys. I want to again apologize for last night. Could not quite get up and running for the start of that game, but it was a very good game. Kudos to Canada for taking it to Argentina last night. Argentina on another day could have really had a wide margin of victory, but goals change matches, and Canada definitely had chances in the first half that could have made them at least worry a little bit. So kudos to Jesse Marsh and his charges. I think that they took the game to them, as I said. Didn't necessarily sit back. I wonder if Coach Hamer was paying attention to how they approached that game against Argentina, and if we will adopt something similar. So that is all that. But before we get going into any kind of tactical breakdown, I do have the audio of the press conference that did take place at the stadium today, and I want to go ahead and tell you guys about that. All right, so this should be I think I just got a updated version, so I might be able to actually let's see. All right, we're not about to worry about that. So let's go play the one. All right, so I have it queued up, people. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear this clearly. Let me big up the people and who they are. Fresh God is here, of course. Big up yourself. Drew Russ, up, bro. You're gonna enjoy this one. I know you like talking the tactics. Fresh and clean. Big up. Yeah, man, remember to smash that like button. Don't forget that part there. All right, cool. So let me get going and start this. We're gonna have a special guest that we're going to introduce as well once we get into breaking down the tactics. So look out for that, people. But for now, we're just going to listen to this press conference together. Maybe have a few talking points on it when we're finished, and then we'll move on from there, people. So again, thumbs up if you can hear this. It don't start yet, people, so don't.
Welcome to the Copa America 2024 USA. We are here with the coach,
the answers will be clearer than the questions, and a lot of them are in Spanish. So don't worry too much about the audio for the questions here. Big up to JFF Live in the building.
Remember that you can download the press conference using the QR available in the room. If you want to ask, please raise your hand and wait to be chosen for the microphone.
Drew, it buck. No, it buck.
Questions?
The answers will be clear.
Hola, buenas tardes, Juan Carlos y Barragán de W Radio. ¿Cómo nos deja o qué piensan ustedes acerca de que para este partido México llega como favorito para llevarse este partido? Gracias.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear.
Andrew?
Okay. For us, it's no problem who can I talk in? Okay, sorry. Yeah, for us, it's no problem who the media take as the favourite. I think it's going to be about who turns up on the day on the pitch. I think we're here, we're confident. We fancy our chances to get out of the group, and yeah, we'll see what happens on the day.
He will be.
Hello, Coach Thompson and Casey Palmer. My name is Valentina Peña. I'm from W Radio Colombia. I have a question for you both. For the coach, many people in Colombia use the expression Cinderella, la Cenicienta, when they come to the less favorite team. But I personally do not think it's like that. What do you think is Jamaica's biggest weapon against a team like Mexico? And for Palmer, Mexico's defense hasn't been really good in the last games. 4-0 against Uruguay, 3-2 against Brazil. How do you think you can break that difference? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I think we are pleased with how we are progressing as a team, not in a specific way. So we are just growing as a team in I think all areas of the game. We are really lethal. We have fast players. We have individual skills in our team, and we are getting more and more tactical as we progress as a unit, play more games with each other, etc. So I think that is our strength now at the moment. We are improving collective unit, but with a lot of individual skills, with a lot of speed in our team. So that is in my opinion our strengths. Playing against Mexico, the powerhouse in our confederation, I think we need to go back 7-8 years to find the latest win for Jamaica against Mexico. So they are the powerhouse of our confederation, and on paper probably more likely to win the game. But luckily for us, this game is not played on paper; it's played out there. And on the day, like Casey said before, on the day, we just need to be good on the day and have a really good game to beat a team like Mexico.
Yeah, I think for me, we have many different weapons. I think, like the coach said, we have a lot of pace in the team, but we also have a lot of players that can create individual moments and do individual brilliance to create openings. Like you said, they've had difficult moments defending against some big teams, against some top players. So we would have watched and we've done our analysis on what we think we can do to kind of break them down. So yeah, it goes back to that again. That we've got to turn up on the day and show them moments in the big moments that can be decisive to win us the game.
Thank you. Hello, Coach. My name is Moises Avila, Agence France Presse. I would like to know how did you manage the absence of at the beginning he was considered in the main list, but now he's not. Were you considering him, or you had enough with the team you already had? And the other question is about Mexico. Maybe this is not the best version of Mexico that we have seen in the last years. What is your opinion about the team you're gonna play with tomorrow?
So we just like to focus on the players that we have. We're not thinking about the players we don't have, and we're really happy with the squad that is here. So we turn our focus and attention to our players here, and we're quite happy with the team. And like we have said before, individual talents in more or less all the positions. So there's a good depth now in the Jamaica team. So happy with that. Mexico will always be Mexico. It's the same style of play, no matter who is playing. There's a little rotation, yes, in the squad, but I think the playing style will be the same. They are aggressive. They are direct, really fast players, individual skilled players. So we need to be really compact if we want to get results. We need to be on the day perfect tactically if we want to win Mexico tomorrow.
Estaba viendo Spanish.
Yes. No. Behind you.
En español. Buenas tardes. ¿Ustedes creen que es una ventaja que México no haya convocado a jugadores como Guillermo Ochoa, Henry Martin y Raúl Jiménez?
Can you repeat it, please?
Okay. Sí. ¿Ustedes creen que es una ventaja que México no haya convocado a sus estrellas como Guillermo Ochoa, Henry Martin, Irving Lozano y Raúl Jiménez?
No, we will have to see tomorrow. We will have to see tomorrow if it's an advantage or not. Mexico has millions of football players to select from. They have really good league in Mexico. The players that are coming in are younger, mostly younger players. So probably thinking about recycling for the World Cup in 2022 as well, giving younger players a chance. So understandable that the coach would like to rotate, but I don't think it's an advantage. I don't think it is a disadvantage, not for us, but for Mexico. We'll see tomorrow.
Me gustaría preguntarle al coach, si ha tenido la posibilidad de platicar con Michael Antonio acerca de Edson Álvarez, que es su compañero en el West Ham, y lo que puede influir a Edson en el juego de la selección mexicana, si han hablado sobre alguna forma de detenerlo con el conocimiento que tienen ya de él, y a Casey sobre su opinión sobre Santiago Jiménez, que podría ser titular mañana en el juego ante Jamaica. ¿Qué opina él sobre Santiago como delantero y cómo lo han analizado?
Well, like all the other players, we have been watching more or less every individual in this squad for the last few months. You know them quite well. There's not a weakness in this Mexican team. Not a weakness in this Mexican team. I'm not sure if my scouts talked to Antonio about him, but I think we watch the English league quite a lot, so we know a lot about the players that are playing in England.
Yeah, I think for me, like you said, about individual players, we've kind of looked at the whole team and we know the strengths of the individuals, like you mentioned with Alvarez, which a lot of us watch the Premier League week in, week out. So we know there's a lot of strength in depth, and like the coach said before, there's a lot of options to pick from with Mexico. So whoever comes in, we know is going to be a strong opponent, and the style of play doesn't change. So we're prepared for whoever comes tomorrow.
Solo quiero preguntarle, he estado viendo la lista, es una Jamaica muy a la inglesa. Le pregunto si me puede confirmar si es una Jamaica que juega a la inglesa.
Well, you will have to wait and see what style we will play tomorrow. But yes, it's a lot of Jamaican players playing at the highest level. So it's good for the national team, for the country to be able to select players from a league like the English Premier League, the French League, even Saudi. So it's a privilege to have players from Jamaica playing at the highest level. If we play an English style, I don't even know what an English style is. You saw the English national team play yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was not a especially nice style that they played. So let's hope we will be better at least than the English style they showed there.
Coach. En español, Mariano Sánchez en Villegas. La selección mexicana no llega en su mejor momento, ya lo decía. Viene de goleadas contra Uruguay, partidos que no dejan un buen sabor de boca en la afición y en los medios. ¿Es esta la gran oportunidad de Jamaica para vencer a la selección mexicana en un torneo importante?
Well, looking upon the opponent, Mexico has been playing late. They lost against US, they lost against Brazil and Uruguay. So it's maybe not the worst teams to play against it. So it goes without saying they were playing against the top teams in the world. And it was all good games, all hard-fought games. So they come in here, knowing exactly what they need to do. And I don't think losing against Brazil will take a lot of confidence away from Mexico. I don't believe so. So, yeah, Mexico will always play this similar style. Like I said before, their style is really direct, is really counter-attacking, individual skills, and fierce football, really fierce football.
Good afternoon, Coach, right here in the back. Ale Vanegas from Acción Central America. Jamaica has become the team to beat now in the CONCACAF area. That given that you guys don't have enough infrastructure, you guys don't have enough resources. And every time we hear from Central American teams, when they failed, their first excuse is we don't have the resources. So how is Jamaica now one of the teams to beat without half of the infrastructure or resources that Central America have, and Jamaica is doing a lot better now?
You want to start with this one? It's a
yeah.
one. It's a political one.
I think for us here as a squad, we don't kind of want to make any excuses for any of the past things, like you say, with the infrastructure, but we know what doing well can lead to and what success that can bring to the next generation of Jamaicans growing up, with the finances that getting out the group or going as far as we can in every big tournament. We know how much finances that can bring in, that can affect the things that you mentioned with creating better facilities and stuff for the next generation. So I think that's kind of our focus, and that's where our mind is. We can't kind of change previous, say, what you'd say, excuses of not having certain things in place, but we know, what change we can make.
I think it's a collective thing as well from the boys, and I give them a big credit for coming from the league like the Premier League, where everything is, at your fingertips, and coming to Jamaica and doing the best from the things we have. That's just a kind of a pact from them. We're going to do no matter what. We're going to do the best we can, even though the facilities and the surroundings around us is not the same as they are used to. Of course, it's a little bit demotivational, and that's the tricky part, but it's fantastic mentality within the squad to don't let the outside things bother you. Focus on what we can do and only on things that we can do. We cannot control, other things, so don't put the focus on that. I think that is wonderful from the players, just to come with that mindset when they come and play for Jamaica.
Hi, Ralph Hanna with Got Any Vision. I had a question about mentality, but more looking on the pitch. You've just played 2 World Cup qualifiers where you're essentially favourites to win those games. Now you're going into a tournament where you're probably the underdogs, looking at the 3 opponents in the group. So how do you work on that in the mentality of maybe going from what you might expect more of a possession game to then having to play on the back foot? Is that something you're looking at, you're working on? Does it come naturally because the players are used to adapting tactically to different games?
Honestly, I think that has been Jamaica's problem in the past where they should be superior. That has been kind of the problems, to lose points against teams that on paper look easier to win. So we were just happy that in the World Cup matches we played, we came out victorious. We had, of course, a lot of chances to score goals, but we didn't kind of convert them, and that was the thing why we didn't win with a bigger margin than we did. But we won the games. This is World Cup, and that's all that matters. But you're correct. I think when it's needed the most, they show up and they always deliver. And it's kind of now has been, at least since I came, we've been playing teams above us in the ranking, more or less, and we've done quite well. I think we are closing the gap between us and the biggest teams. If you look at the FIFA ranking or the CONCACAF ranking, we are always
My bad, people. My bad, people.
we can avoid playing group stages and etc. and go straight to semi-finals or quarterfinals. So that's our aim. But I think we are used to playing teams that on paper are better than us. We come into this tournament, the lowest ranked team out from, I think only Bolivia is below us in the ranking. So we come here as the non-favorites. And honestly, I think that suits us. Can I add to this?
Yeah, I think for me especially, I like going into a game as an underdog. I don't mind being the one that everyone thinks we're going to lose. People might go into the game tomorrow, or people are watching the game thinking Mexico are going to dominate us. For me, that's fine. Like, we know what we can do, we know what we're capable of, and we're silently confident that we can come out victorious.
¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes, Carlos Rodrigo Hernández de Fox Sports. Las preguntas para los dos. Yo quisiera preguntarles qué virtudes tiene esta selección, qué fútbol vamos a ver para que ustedes puedan ser la sorpresa de esta Copa América. Muchas gracias.
Well, it's certain traits that you always need to be successful in football, and especially at this level. You know, for a national team to be successful at this level, you need to be well organized. You need to be hardworking. That's probably the two traits you need to have: you focus, discipline, hard work, and then to use what you have as a weapon yourself. In our case, our speed, our individual skills. How can we tactically build the game around that we can then use our strengths? So yeah, I think in general that is something that every team needs to have, and then plus what you have as an extra, try to implement that in the tactics you are playing.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
That was quick and easy.
All right, people. So that was the pre-game press conference. Major talking points. I thought, of course, he asked the question about Bailey. Of course, as those who have been following would have seen, Bailey was on the squad listed, and then we found out that he wouldn't be participating through his management. And the coach said, he wants to focus on the players that are with them, not those not in the squad. Thought that was a bit strange for him to answer it that way, because surely he would have known that whatever release that the media would have gotten that has Jamaica's team or squad on it would have included Bailey, even on the actual site itself, on the Copa America site. If you look at the teams up till yesterday, he was there. I don't know if they've taken him off, but yeah, I thought it pretty much is the answer that he always gives when he's asked about players not in the squad at these tournaments. But I thought maybe he would have had the understanding that the guy wasn't just trying to ask to be smart or anything. He's just seeing him on the squad and then seeing that he's not here. So yeah, on the Copa America website, Bailey is still listed as the 26th in the list. So Yeah, I thought that was a fair question there, and the coach just Rob Smith a trouble me, man. Him well I know. Yeah, but that was thought that was a bit something. And I also noticed in one of the Spanish questions, he basically was asking, you know, with the influx of the English players, would you say Jamaica plays a Jamaican style or an English style? And that's when he had the answer about, you know, hopefully it's not the English style because you saw how they played yesterday, which I thought was kind of funny. Um, Also, they asked the question about, and it was funny to hear from a Central American point of view. Like they asked basically, you know, what is our key to success really? What's our secret? Because a lot of times when the Central American teams fail, the first thing that they would point to is lack of resources. And you know, the reporter was of the mindset that the Jamaicans and the Caribbean teams might even have less resources than some of the Central American teams. So what's our secret? And um, you know, Casey really answered based on, you know, not wanting it to be about you know, what we don't have or what we're lacking, and just kind of put your head down and try to get the job done with what you have. So and I'm not sure if he really understood the question fully, but you know, he gave an answer, and the coach then said, you know, it's a all hands on deck type of thing. The administration have to do better, the players have to do better. So you know, politically he did want Casey to answer that one first, because he did sense the political tone in the question. But yeah, I thought they navigated that pretty well. But all in all, you know, Casey sounding confident, saying that he doesn't mind being the underdog. He kind of likes to go into games with that type of mindset, you know, thinking people won't give us any chance at all, and then we come out and prove them wrong. So, you know, that's good that they're adopting that mentality. That is something that you need going into a tournament where, you know, on paper we'll be facing some teams that, you know, are definitely in FIFA ranked higher than us, right? So yeah, I think all in all, you know, nothing too crazy out of that press conference there. You know, was interesting to hear what Hal Grimson thought were the keys to success at a tournament like this. So let's see if he can implement the things that he thinks are key, and that's what we'll be looking for. So yeah, without any more delay, people, I want to go ahead and get this portion going. Wasn't a fair question for Casey. He did his best though. Yeah, I think you know, the way he answered it was probably as best as he could, because he, you know, how much can he really know about what that reporter was referring to? So yeah, he did well with it though. I'm here watching Peru and Chile. Alexis Sanchez missed a sitter already. Chile looked to be the better team slightly so far. Have Peru kind of on the ropes here. Yeah, so I see him here. He gave a response which was good enough. Yeah, he didn't really answer it directly. I mean, you know, he basically, the way he interpreted it, I don't know why he had to interpret it because it was asked in English, but like, it's almost like, you know, he didn't really want to necessarily frame it in any way to talk about the Central American teams. And I understand that, because I don't want to give them any kind of ammunition to be upset with anything he says. I think he answered it very diplomatically, which is probably the smartest thing to do. You know, the last thing you want coming out of these press conferences is something that the other team can latch onto and, you know, try to get some motivation from. So I thought he did a good job of keeping his answer the way he kept it. But without further ado, people, I do have a special guest that is going to be joining me to do this tactical portion of the show. So I'm going to introduce him to you all. You guys have seen him on the channel before, and prior to me creating this channel, a lot of you probably would have seen him if you follow sports in Jamaica at all, and that is none other than my father, Mr. Michael Hall. Dad, what you saying? What you saying? What you saying? Welcome back to the channel.
Yes, my son. Greetings, blessings to all. Yeah, man, it's good to be back on. You know, as you say, it's the business time now. You know, all the talking done. Ball roll tomorrow night. So I'm really excited about that. You know what I mean? A chance for us to create some history. Played in 2 Copas already, and I've left both of them pointless. So let's you know, who knows? We probably have the squad that can at least get us some points for the first time. Let's see.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks when this group was made would have thought, okay, looking at the teams in CONMEBOL, this could have been a lot worse. I heard the coach reference it as well when asked at the Copa first press conference with all the coaches there. He was saying, well, this group is, people should be looking at it saying, any team can come first, any team can come last. I'm sure he has to kind of say that, but in a way, I sort of agree with him. I think when you look at Venezuela, they are ranked below us in the FIFA rankings by one, so we're 54, they're 54. But if you look at how they've been playing recently, they're fourth in the CONMEBOL qualifiers. I'm hearing feedback from somewhere, Dad. Make sure you don't have
You
it
get it?
playing. Yeah, somewhere else.
No. This is the only This is the only app with a camera that I'm using. I don't have any live stream or anything. So
Yeah, so
any better?
I'm not sure why that's happening, but
You know
it's
what?
not.
Okay, I have a beat spill on as my speaker. Let me turn it off.
Yeah, I think that's what's causing the double sound there. Yeah. All right. So yeah.
All right.
So I was saying Venezuela, right? They're ranked just below us, but they are fourth right now in CONMEBOL qualifying, so they're doing pretty well. Ecuador ranked in the 30s, I think 32 to be exact. They are right in front of Brazil in fifth, and Brazil is all the way in sixth. So, when you look at the rankings, they mean something, but at the end of the day, I think people need to realize that Venezuela is on an upward trajectory right now, and we shouldn't take too much stock in the rankings. Similar to us, they have been kind of climbing steadily, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with as well.
Jay, look, when you get to a tournament, unless you're talking about, a team in the top 10 playing a team that is ranked 180th, which you're not going to find in a tournament because that team probably wouldn't qualify for it. As you say, you can throw the rankings out the window. This is tournament football, No, I don't think there was a result in one of the games at Euro earlier.
From today?
No, earlier in the competition.
Oh, when Belgium got upset?
Correct. You throw the rankings out the window. Teams come there to fight for their national shirt and their flag. It's the rankings don't really mean that much. We see it in many sports. The underdog seems to rise to the occasion and play, punch above their weight. And I don't think the Copa America is going to be any different. Look, yes, Argentina missed a bag full of chances last night, but for a little bit of extra luck, a little bit of the rub of the green, Canada could have come away from that game with a point, and nobody would have expected that. So,
yeah, you're right. I thought Canada, in a way, when I was watching that game, and I'm thinking, how are we going to approach these games? We saw us play USA in the Nations League, and to some, maybe not, as a Jamaica fan, not what we really want to see a team doing for 90 minutes, just defending for the most part. And I thought Canada, in the first half and parts of the second half, had a very good balance between trying to win the ball up pitch, and if they don't win it in that initial phase, dropping into a nice little block. I thought that's something that maybe Hallgrimsson could look at and try to use against a team like Mexico, because I think the difference in Argentina, maybe they might not try to go as direct into the attack as Mexico might do. But they will have those phases of play where they'll try to possess. And I just hope that we don't just let them do so for the whole 90 minutes. I thought that, Canada, in the end, in the second half, especially when they went down a goal, I thought they became a bit suicidal in the way they were playing, and they were leaving huge gaps at the back. But in the first half, they were a bit more measured in the way they were doing it. And I would like to see us take an approach similar to that.
Their game plan, I think, is the perfect game plan for an underdog team playing against a team that they're expected to lose to. They were disciplined. As you say, there were times when, they sort of definitely were just concerned with keeping their shape, but they were also brave at times. and not afraid to step up and try and dispossess Argentina in their own half, even in their own defensive third. And if you don't do that and show a little initiative at points in time during the game, I mean, clearly, and this sort of ties into one of the challenges that I have with Jamaican teams in general over the years, and I don't know if it is because the other teams are fitter, or our players just aren't fit, because we certainly can't do it constantly. We don't have our players don't have the legs to play a high press for the whole game. So we have to pick and choose. We have to sort of maybe weather the storm and then see when there's a little bit of a lull in the game, because Mexico will have lulls as well. They can't all out attack for 90 minutes either. And we have to recognize when that is happening, pick those spots and try then to be a little bit more aggressive. And also, I think a huge weapon for us tomorrow, and we're going to get into it, I guess, when you give me a chance to name my starting level where I think should start. But one of our key weapons tomorrow night is going to be, in my view, the speed. Wide. And I mean, obviously it depends on who's on the field, right? But when you think of players like Cephas and Gray and Dixon, if he gets to play, that speed is something that I think will provide a lot of problems for the Mexican team.
Agreed. I think if anyone that has, paid any attention to the games leading up, one of the ways that Uruguay, because that game was tight for stretches of the game, and it ended up 4-0, which looked bad on them, but it was really like just some very clinical and smart, fluid counter-attacking play from Uruguay that caused those goals. So I think, again, the way that they conceded in that game is another thing that the coach can look at, from recent memory. That team will be very similar, as I'm going to show once we get to the Mexico portion of this, to what we're probably going to see in terms of personnel. And I think if they do have a weakness, it's that perhaps their center backs can't really handle pace very well. Darwin Núñez really caused a lot of havoc. And, we might have even more pieces of pace options up in the attack that we can utilize. So, yeah, that is one of the keys, I think, for us to get anything out of this game. We'll have to make use of those opportunities when we turn them over, and our runs will have to be smartly timed. And if we can connect those passes, we will get opportunities.
The question would become for me then, how many of those speed options can we afford to use at the same time? Do we have the luxury of playing Cephas and Gray from the beginning so that there's a threat on either flank in terms of speed? Is that a little bit too over the top for the tactic that we may want to employ generally as a team, where there going to have to be a great deal of conservatism and trying to keep Mexico in front of us?
Mm-hmm.
So those are things to consider. But I think if I was a coach and picking the 11 for tomorrow night, I think I would have an 11 to win us the game. We shall see.
Absolutely. Well, there's no time like the present. I have JG TV here and there's Michael Hall there, but we are both going to be coaches tonight. We're going to put a 11 out there. Hopefully nobody from the Mexican Federation is tuning in, because this might be the trick. But either way, we're going to put it out there. It's our thoughts, people. We are students of the game, and we are going to try to figure out how we could get this result. So as you saw earlier, I'm going to put it back on the screen here. This is the graphic that I found, the app that I found that we're going to work with tonight. I have the 26 available players loaded in with names and numbers. So you can just tell me from the goalkeeper, and we can go right through the team, and I will place them on the pitch for you.
All right. So in goal, notwithstanding a slightly concerning performance against Dominica, particularly that little hesitation and so on. But I have Jamali Waite in goal to start tomorrow.
All right. Drop Waite in the goal.
At left back, I have Greg Lee.
Greg Lee at left back. All right. Boom.
And I'm playing 4 at the back, by the way. In
Okay.
central defense, I have Michael Hector and Ethan Pinnock.
All right. So I'm assuming you want Hector on the right,
On the right, Pinnock on the left.
Pinnock
Yes.
on the left. Okay.
All right. Now, it's a bit of a toss-up at right fullback for me. It's either going to be Lembikisa or Harding, but I am going to go with Lembikisa just because I think he played more. I think he's fitter. I think he's younger.
Continuity. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I thought he did very well for us in that game against the last big game he played for us against Panama. So I have him starting.
All right.
I have two sitting in front of that four. And those two are Karoy Anderson and Kevin Lambert.
All right. So we have Anderson and Kevin. Where is Kevin? There he is. I guess it's kind of irrelevant which side they'll just be there.
Yeah.
All right.
In front of them, I have Bobby Reed, Casey Palmer, and Gray going from right to left.
Bobby Reed. Drop this. I'm gonna put Mexico on there as well. So I'm gonna kind of condense it to one side. So Bobby Reed.
Casey Palmer.
You said Casey, Dimi, and now I'm sure the call that has been the most controversial call that I've been hearing.
This is an easy call to make for me, buddy. 47 games, 19 goals, 6 in his last 5. It has to be Shamar Nicholson up front.
Shamar Nicholson gets the nod. Where is he? Number 11. Boom. All right, so that is the Elder Halls lineup, the original, and it's going to be a 4-2-3-1, and it's going to look like that, people. So I'm going to leave this on the screen and just to pick your brain a bit. So just explain some of these choices in terms of your thoughts, how much are you factoring in the opponent? Is it more about just form of the players currently? Like, what was your thought process picking this 11?
I think it's form of the players currently. It's also I think this 11 also represents our best 11. Simply, right? I have done some coaching in my life, not at any great level, professional level, but for me, one of the first rules of coaching is put your best team on the field or on the court, depending, whatever the sport is that you're coaching. Put your best players on the field. And for me, these guys represent the best players in our 25-man squad at this moment in time. I think that, quite frankly, I think that the back four, since I am going with a back four, picks itself. Right, based on who is there, And
question about your centre back pairing. Were any of the CBs that you didn't choose close or in the reckoning? Like, I think Pinnock, all would probably agree it has nailed down that spot if he's fit and healthy. But was there any kind of debate whether Hector's spot could be any of the other ones that are available?
No, because the other ones who are available, and by the way, just so everybody understands, Lowe is listed as a defender and Latibeaudiere as a midfielder in our squad, in the official websites and etc. I have Lowe as a midfielder in my squad and Latibeaudiere as a CB. Okay? So since that is how I have them in my squad, then for me there's no contest.
Yeah.
It is Pinnock and Hector, right? The potential subs, if one of them get hurt or if we want to bring on an extra CB, for me that would be Bernard, King, or Lati.
Okay.
In the order of Bernard, Lati, King.
Got you.
So Lemby is starting, then it means that if something happened to him, then Harding comes on.
West would be next, yeah.
Lee is starting. If something happened to him, then Jonathan Bell comes on. Okay, that is my thinking around the back. In terms of Palmer and Anderson,
Or
so
Lambert and Anderson.
sorry, Lambert and Anderson. So every time I see Anderson play, I'm a little bit more impressed. Okay, certainly one thing I love about him is his energy. I love his fearlessness. He looks to be comfortable on the ball, and he looks also as if he's allowed. And by allowed, I mean if he creates the space for himself with his off the ball movement and is running in between the lines to pick it up and turn, that he has passes in him as well, right? I think Lambert is just the right number 6 for us. Full of energy, tackles well, is comfortable with the ball at his feet, doesn't seem to fade in games either. Looks to be able to run for 90 minutes. I've seen him, sort of spit the bit
Run
after
out.
70.
Yeah.
I've never run out of gas. So I want him there and I want Anderson there in front of that back four. Obviously, Gray is a no-brainer. If I'm honest, I was toying with the idea of
Cephas.
Yeah, instead of Bobby, but I go with Bobby for his experience. I go with him for his ability to give me something in the defensive side of the field, which I'm not sure I'm going to get from Cephas. We might lose a little bit, not a little bit. We probably lose a lot in terms of speed and attacking threat on the flank. But I think he makes up for that with the savviness of his play and his experience, right? As I said, Gray is a no-brainer, and I think the two protecting the back four and hopefully giving 100% for 90 minutes will finally free up Casey Palmer and not force him to do as much defensive duties as he has been made to do in previous games. Because I can't believe that the person I see playing for Coventry and some of the things that I've seen him do for Coventry is the guy that's been wearing the Jamaica shirt. I mean, people might say, well, you say the same thing about Bailey, but the less we say about Bailey, the better. And as I said earlier, when I said that Nicholson would start, I think it's a no-brainer that he has to start, right? Now, having said that, we are so thin in midfield, right? We have named 6 midfielders in our squad, and remember now, Latti was one of the 6 named, but I have Low
Right.
there. Okay. So in the event that Lambert run out of steam because he's just been chasing too much and the game has made him, just run out of gas, then Low for me is a change in the number 6 role. I don't want him to start because I just don't think that. First of all, I don't think he's better than the centre backs that are going to start. So I'm not going to play here. Okay. And I want him. I don't think he can start ahead of Lambert either because of he's not the best on the ball and doesn't always make the best decisions when trying to pick up a teammate, right? Tend to want to play a 40-yard pass when a 10-yard one will do or a 5-yard one will do. So outside of him, though, if there's a challenge creatively in the midfield, and you're talking just strictly midfielders, then, we're down to Alex Marshall. And with the greatest of respect to Alex Marshall, I don't see him as being at this level.
Yeah.
Of course, I think we're spoiled for choice up front. Both Cephas and Dixon, I think, depending on the state of the game, could be huge game changers if they're to come on the field for their energy, for their pace, and in the case of Dixon, for his ability to, his skill to take on players one-on-one, trick them, create more space for himself and create opportunities for other people. And of
Do you,
course,
how do you
Antonio is the upfront option. But let's be clear, I don't think him and Nicholson should be on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this stage, I mean, I hope the coach thinks this as well, that it just doesn't seem to work. Typically if you have two strikers playing, you want one to be a foil to the other. And I just don't think they quite play like that, either one of them. They're more inclined to run into the same spaces, drop for the same ball in the same space. So it just hasn't really worked out. So hopefully that's something that we won't see. Or if we see it, it's more defined, the rules, because right now it seems like they're just trying to do it off the cuff and it's not working out.
Well, and certainly based on the formation that I think best suits us in this game, it would be impossible to play Antonio and Nicholson at the same time. Maybe if it was if you come up with a 5-3-2 or anybody else thinks 5-3-2 is a better formation for us, maybe the two could be Nicholson and Antonio, but for me, it still wouldn't be. I just don't think, as you said, you have agreed with me. I just don't think the two of them belong on the same field at the same time.
Yeah, for me it doesn't quite fit the bill for me personally. But
that's
so yeah,
my starting 11, Guna, and the formation. I think this side can get us a result tomorrow night.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, it looks good to me. I mean, I'm a huge fan of this formation. I think the coach, it's never really the graphic that they show when they're showing the games, but I have seen us morph into this during games. So I think it's something that they do actually show on the pitch at times. Even at the end of the Dominica game, this is pretty much how we ended it, with a 4-2-3-1. Palmer was playing. I remember when the change happened and I saw Palmer playing this role, I was like, whoa, Casey Palmer actually get to play where him actually play for his club. But yeah, I'm saying all of that, but my team is actually going to have him somewhere else. But I just want to let people know, this is Sir Michael Hall's team on the screen, and you know how we do it, people. If you want, you can drop a rating for the team. I think it's a good balance to it. I love the Lambert inclusion. I think he's somebody that has gotten a raw deal from this coach and from the fans in general. I think he does his job and he does it well. Yes, he's not the flashiest player in the world, but I believe he can do a lot of the things that we love about Damian Lowe in the role, plus being a lot more proficient technically. So I think that's a no-brainer, putting him in. If you want that energy and steal, he can provide that and keep the ball as well a bit better. So I like that inclusion for sure. I was trailing the two strikers for the Copa if they need goals in matches. Okay, so it was a trial period to see if the two strikers could work. Okay. That's what I'm working off, because part of the World Cup. All right, yeah. So that's team, people. 4-2-3-1. I like it. I like the look of it. He explained as well, why he left some folks in reserve, how he thinks he could switch it up to get some kind of result if things go differently than how he would like. The one thing, and I agree with him, in midfield is a bit tight. I mean, if Lambert is coming off and let's say we need a goal, right? And we might not want Low at that point. We might say, okay, let's shuffle the deck. Maybe we'll push Palmer back, slide Reed infield, bring Cephas wide. Maybe that's how they could do it. But yeah, in that midfield area, that Lambert Anderson area, we are very light. So, I'm interested to see how the coach works through that, because that's one thing that, when we were talking about bringing players for support, as it was said, I thought, we would have gotten more out of support that could actually play,
I just want to make one final point, Jay. We are already hamstrung by the non-appearance of Bailey, in the sense that when he decided to non-appear, it left us a player short in our squad. We are unable to fill his spot because he's not injured. The reason that he's not there does not allow for a replacement. And we have gone to this tournament with 4 goalkeepers, 10 defenders, 6 midfielders, and 5 forwards. Mexico's squad is very traditional. 3-8-8-7. They have many more options than us in midfield, and they have more options than us up front. 8-6 in midfield, 7-5 up front. Yes, we have more defenders, but you know, that's
How many can we put on the field at once?
exactly. So look, our squad is not the greatest balanced squad. And we could debate why was it done that way? Why didn't we do? But the truth is that that's who is there. So we have to just deal with it, right?
Work with
But
it, yeah.
we have to always bear in mind that it is not a balanced squad at all in terms of players available in each third of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm gonna actually have the ability to save this, so I'm gonna save this real quick. Michael 11B Mexico. All right, so that is that. I am going to now. Let's see. No, that's not what we want.
Well, win our money.
No, you can change the field.
I thought it was some stacks of dollar bills.
It would be nice, huh? All right, menu. I think I have to. Okay, there we go. That's not want it. All right, so let me. I think I can leave some of these players. But let me first do this. I'm gonna change my formation to a. I want to play something similar to what we saw at the Gold Cup, or sorry, the Nations League. So I'm gonna go with this. And I'm gonna have to just put the players on the bench and fix that. So I'm not gonna start Shaquan Davis. This goalkeeper choice for me is a tough one, Dad, and I'll tell you why. Right? I think Jamali Waite, really and truly, when he was the deputy to Blake, and he played those. I think he's up to 10 games now. He had that run of games when Blake had some issues, and he played. Didn't really put a foot wrong. He did play in the Azteca in the 2-all game. I thought he played well in that game. And if we're being honest, the first signs of any shakiness from him was this past window. And it's actually a continuation of his form at USL Championship club level, because his team is really, really struggling in that league, and he has conceded a lot of goals. So, sometimes, your confidence as a goalkeeper is very important. And I don't know if he's the most confident right now. But when I look at the goalkeeping pool, and you're talking about Kanaya Boyce-Clark and Shaquan Davis, I don't think that the coach would throw Shaquan Davis into the deep end in a tournament game like this as his first appearance, proper appearance for Jamaica. Of course, he has played some friendlies. And Kanaya Boyce-Clark, while he has a bit more experience, he's younger than Davis, but has probably a bit more experience at this type of level. I also feel like I don't think he's going to throw him in the deep end either. I know a lot of the fan base have been saying, boy, let's give him a shot. What time like the present? But I think, if I think I'm going to stick with the one who's been doing it. So I'm going to start Waite. But I can tell you this, some lean performances in this tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if Boyce-Clark doesn't get a start in one of these group games. I think Waite will have to take this opportunity here, pardon the pun, with safe hands. All right, so I want to play this 3-4-2 system, 3-4-2-1 system, kind of a 3-4-3, but the reason why I decided to go with the 3-4-2-1, I kind of want the wide players to kind of start from this kind of more central area and then work their way wide as we attack. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But in the back three, it's kind of sad based on how he played in the Nations League, but I am actually going to bench Michael Hector. I'm going to play Pinnock in the center, and I'm going to start, where is he? I'm going to start Dish on the right side, and I'm going to start Joel on the left side. Now, my reasoning for this is I I think Ethan Pinnock, obviously was nursing something before coming here, and I just feel like if we place, because I kind of didn't want to move Hector from the middle because he looks so good in the Nations League in that spot, but I feel like I want Ethan Pinnock's experience and ability in the team, and I really don't want him to play on either side just because I don't want him to get caught out in these spaces having to do too much 1v1 defending on the wings. I much prefer Latibaudiere and Bernard to be doing that type of role. So that's why I went for these three. I also think that, while Hector is no slouch passing the ball, these three guys are also very good on the ball. And I think that's going to be a key for us because, Mexico does put on a lot of pressure on you when you're trying to build. And we're going to need some, confident and competent players back there. So I like the looks of those. I agree with you that Dexter will continue his role. I do think as well, while he's a great one-on-one defender and I trust him in the back four, I think we saw a whole other dimension to his game in the Nations League because of the freedom that this type of system gives you to really go forward at times. And you saw that evidenced in the goal he scored, collecting, way up the right-hand side and scoring. Greg Lee right now has to be a staple on the other wing. Becoming Mr. Consistent, honestly, if you look at his performances for Jamaica, really rarely, goes below, a 6.5, 7 out of 10. So, he's one that I think has to be there. I gave all the praise in the world to Kevin Lambert, but I am of the mind that with this back three system, perhaps the need for a quote unquote destroyer in there is not as great. So I'm going to say I'm going to play Casey and Karoy. I want to explore that one a little bit more. I thought obviously the opposition was Dominica, but I thought, they had a decent understanding of who to fill the space and who to push and vice versa. And they did a good job of just kind of circulating that movement in there. And I like the relationship that I was seeing building, and I want to see that grow some more. And I think that the back three base kind of affords us, not having to say, okay, one of you need to be a tackler, destroyer type of person. I think they can be okay just being agile, athletic, marking spaces, and at times when they need to get tight, at least pushing a foot and winning the ball. And I think Anderson is underrated in that regard too. I think he does win more, but he's more active than people give him credit for. So I think we'll be okay there. So that will be my 3-4 base there. And then I will not be starting Alex Marshall. Bobby Reed will be on this side for me, though. I think in this type of system, you need basically, really intelligent IQ football players for this two behind the striker thing to work. Because like I said, they're going to have license to utilize the wings, utilize the half spaces, even get into the central channels. And they'll need to, do what the game needs to happen and act accordingly. And I think that Damari Gray and Reed are two players that, tactically can handle that much variation in what they are able to do. So I like that. And then I know he hasn't been scoring, but I think that the test that we have in this game is going to require the know-how of Antonio a little more than the goal scoring prowess of Nicholson. Now, not saying we won't need goals, but I don't think that we're going to be creating a boatload of chances. It's going to be,
certainly not with Antonio on the field, no.
You say that, but look, I feel like at the goal, right?
I say I say.
I know you rate Antonio. I know that was a bit, tongue in cheek what you just said, but like, I think that this game right here is going to be crucial for somebody that just has the ability to hold the ball and maybe get fouled. I do think that against Mexico and all of these teams that we play in this tournament, free kicks are going to be crucial. Set pieces are going to be crucial. And these South American defenders and Mexico as well, they don't really like not having the ball. So if we can be smart, put our body in between man and ball, we're going to draw fouls, and they're going to be, having to really pay attention. If we can get good delivery, we have a lot of size in the team. So, I think that's something that we can use to our advantage. And I think that this lineup with Reed, Gray, and Antonio, especially up front, collecting, they at times they're going to be isolated. And I think these players, out of a lot of the options that we have, maybe are a bit more cerebral in their thinking and how they play. They have a they really value ball retention, and I think that's something that's going to be paramount for us. So that's kind of the reason why I went with this to start. Now, I don't expect Antonio to play the entire 90 minutes. So, of course, I'll be telling Shamar, listen, 55, 60, 65, whatever the case is, you're definitely coming in. So, and I think Shamar is the type of player that, from what I've seen at least, and his whole vibe with the team, he's a consummate team player. So I don't think it's going to affect how he would play in any way. Not saying that Antonio isn't, but I feel like if we're measuring egos, I feel like when you bench Antonio in the first game of a tournament and he's Mikel Antonio, not saying that the coach should be picking based on that, but I'm just thinking tactically and for other reasons, I would just start Antonio. And if it's just not working out, you change him at halftime. But I think he'll be fine, and I would start him.
Look, I believe, and I think I'm justified in believing this, that he is not in the best of form right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, if it was the surfaces he played on, I don't know what it is, but he's not playing as well as he can. What I will give him ahead of Shamar, and it may be crucial, especially if Lembe and Greg Lee get into the opponent's defensive third and swing some balls in, and swing some crosses in.
Careful.
So that Antonio provides a better attacking threat with his head than Shamar. I don't think anybody would argue against that. I'm just hoping that if he does start, that his first touch is much improved than it has been, because he's been losing the ball quite a bit in the game that he's played recently. Even in the last couple of games for West Ham, he just wasn't. His first touch was letting him down badly. But listen, that's why we That's why we pick the teams. We have different opinions, we lay them out there. Hopefully folks in the chat are commenting and giving us their thoughts on them.
Yeah, no, the chat active, man. Them at first, because I had those names up, a man said, what kind of 11 is that? Because I had Marshall and Dixon and some other man. So then when I change it now, him say, okay, that look a lot better. I see one person saying you're benching Hector ? And I responded, yeah, that was a tough one. To me, that back three was the longest deliberation I had for the entire team. That and the Antonio and Nicholson one, but that was a bit quicker for me. My main reason, honestly, is I think Hector is best in this system in the middle. And while I think Pinnock is fine at the left side, I just worry about, him going through this tournament without having to sit out any games or anything like that. I think if he can just be in the middle and kind of control things, maybe we don't extend him as much in terms of chasing down people. And, I kind of want him to steer the ship, so to speak. And I think it's either him or Hector. I don't want Hector on the right. I don't want Pinnock on the left yet. Maybe later in the tournament, a couple games under his belt, I would play him out there. But for this first one, I probably wouldn't. I would leave it just the way I see it there.
I think that you're. Whoa.
What happened? That I think you might have to jump off and jump back on, because I think you're frozen. Okay, you're good now.
Okay, no, I was just saying that your 3-4-2-1. Yes, you have three at the back and three experienced and solid defenders. But I always like for there to be some cover, some tackling cover in front of my last line of defense. So I would still want to see a Lambert somewhere on the field to provide that additional shield and protection.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And again, it comes down to how thin we are in that department.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, look, during the run of play, right? it- when Mexico has settled into some kind of possession, it's probably going to look even more like this, right? And what I would encourage these two to do, and which is why I want their starting position to be a bit more narrow, I would love for them to function as some kind of box. And for me, the reason why I want to see that is, of course, if the field tilts to the left or right, this box would all shift to this side, and we have the cover in the middle, and we're not getting overloaded in the wings. But if they can kind of move in tandem with the ball, and we can kind of keep that block of four, it will make up a bit for the type of personnel I've gone for. I mean, it's going to require them to be very attentive and focused, but they're professionals. Hopefully they can do that. But that is the
Well,
instruction I would give them. You condense when
you
we don't
see,
have the ball, and you expand when we have the ball. I mean, really simple.
yeah, and Jason, you see, that is the people that know tactics, watch football, um, look at things that the average fan not looking at. So, what does the team shape look like when the other team has possession on their attacking right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch teams and that's what you're looking at, then you will see.
Yeah, that umbrella shifts.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you just came back. You just came back.
All right, sorry about, yeah. So you will see you'll see two lines moving.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happens on the other side. Whether
Mm-hmm.
they're moving diagonally because it's tilting to one side or the other, but they move. And I don't see that yet with our team. I don't know if it's because they're not told to do that, or they're told but it's just not, they haven't, just don't play often enough, or they're not disciplined enough. I don't know what it is, but that is one thing that is troubling to me, and that could prove to be a problem tomorrow. The other thing, Jason, and I don't know if anybody else in the chat sees it, but when I watch better teams play football, yes, everyone wants to possess the ball, and yes, everyone recycles, and they go down the right side and nothing is there, so they play it back, and then they go up to the center of the field and they try the other side, and there's a lot of lateral passing. All looks very boring, but eventually, or even when that is happening, it's being done at a particular speed. It has to be done quickly in order to realize maybe an advantage when you are making the switch or when you are recycling. If you do it quickly, a space may open up in that half a second, that faster than you did it before. I don't know if I express it myself properly, but we tend to do what we do very slowly.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
almost like when they turn, it's like they're driving a Leland truck, and they have to take time and go, reverse and turn. We need to move the ball a lot more quickly, and we need to move without the ball a lot more quickly. That has to
Absolutely.
improve for us to get better results in our international games.
Absolutely. And furthermore, right, the quicker we move the ball around, the more we'll be able to get players into positions that I think the coach is trying to get them into, which is 1v1s in space. The longer you take to cycle that ball around to get it to whoever danger person or whatever danger spot you want to get it to,
It's no longer a danger spot. It
a
don't get
good
close.
team has shifted their umbrella to block that from happening. So everything we do has to happen at a quicker pace, and that's something that he mentioned in both the press conferences after the games. Just a lack of tempo in the game, and in the game in the stadium, it was down to the weather, right? That's what we heard, and the pitch conditions, and same could be said for the second game. So I'm hopeful, right? It's gonna be what I think it's gonna be. It's 9 o'clock for me in Texas. It should be like 7. So, I mean, it's still going to be pretty hot, to be honest. But NRG does have a retractable roof.
Texas is 2 hours behind you, or
I
one?
believe so. I believe they're I think they're on Mountain Time, or are they Central Time?
I think there might be Central, Anyway,
Okay, well,
I-
either way,
yeah.
more than likely it will be closed, so the temperature should be controlled.
By the way, what's the score in the Chile Peru game?
It is still 0-0, 50th minute, and the cricket, I think Chase just took a wicket to make it 65 for 4, I believe, and it was the big one, Jones.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, and I think Jason also, for me, something else that the coach that I would like to see from the coach is an earlier recognition of the need for a substitution to be made. I feel that can I say he's not brave enough to make an early pull when it is obvious to everybody that somebody just not playing well or not working. I think he needs to recognize that a lot earlier than he has shown in previous games.
yeah, I think one thing that I think is missed on some fans as well with this coach, because I hear a lot of times it's leveled at him that perhaps he's not the most tactically astute. And I'm not saying he's Pep Guardiola, but I do think that there have been, and this might be an indictment on him too, but a lot of times at halftime, some big adjustment has to happen. And for the most part, he makes an adjustment and we get a draw or we win the game or something. And so I want to give him a bit of credit. Again, it's slightly an indictment on him because too often I feel he thinks he has to change everything because it's not working. So, it's a two-way street there. But in the end, whether it takes him too long or not, I have seen him make in-game adjustments that have made a difference in results. You can look back at the Haiti game in the stadium. I thought taking off low at halftime, he said in the press conference was because he wasn't feeling well. I think it's just because he wasn't playing well. But he was protecting the player there, in my opinion. And he said what he said. He made the sub. We looked a lot better. We got the draw on that day. Another game that I remember the second half being better, obviously the Canada game in Canada, right? Went to a 4-3-3, dropped low in the midfield. We kind of surprised them a bit in the start of that second half, and we were able to get back in the game and eventually win it. So, he has had instances where he's done things, but I do agree that in the moment, if you have that feeling that something's not going right, just make the change. Just do it. I mean, you get 5 of them. And that's another thing as well. I almost feel like part of the reason why he went with the support players and not actual players is like very rarely does he use up all 5 subs. And if he does, he's probably making 2 or 3 after 90 minutes. So it's not really like he used them. You know what I'm saying? It's probably just to waste out at 30 seconds here or there. So I agree with you. If you're going to pick the players, lean on them. It's a 3 rest days and then a game. So be mindful of that, give people 60 minutes and let somebody else get another 30. And then that way we can stay fresher throughout the tournament.
Yeah. I think something that we all, all of us fans who are hoping, to see great performances from the Reggae Boys. And I mean, that would be every Jamaican fan. One of the things that we need to be mindful of, we have a 25-man squad at this tournament, and 9 of them, 9 have 10 or fewer international games played, right? I don't think there probably are very few teams in this tournament who have even 2 or 3 players who don't have double figures in international matches.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have players who played at a football and played at club level, but never played for their country where they live, and joined Jamaica's national team late in their career. So we have a lot of inexperienced international football, and I think that makes a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect segue, because right now, if you look at the screen, Jamaica can't lose that because we're not playing nobody. We're going to win 100-0, so we're good. But that's not the case, people. We're going to be playing Mexico.
We
might
might 90. Antonio might miss 10 of the chances, but yeah.
You're a low Captain Jamaica, All right, so we have the Mexican team, and the reason why I say it's a perfect segue is, and you heard them allude to this in the press conference. If you could hear it, I know it was a bit low, but one of the reporters did ask what Hallgrimsson and Palmer, well, Hallgrimsson for the most part, thought about him leaving out some of the recognized names that would have been mainstays. We're talking about Guillermo Ochoa, kicked to the curb for this tournament. We're talking about Henry Martin, who is Jamaica's kryptonite, not in the team. We're talking about Raul Jimenez, who actually had a good end of the season with Fulham, could not make this roster. Jesus Gallardo, who has been the left back from Mexico forever, is not in this team either. So, I would say that a lot of this team as well is a bit inexperienced at this level.
True.
So, they are starting a transition phase, trying to see what the next generation of players is looking like. So, I see my brother in the chat made a point here, and I just want to read it out because I think it's important. Most of the team is in the Mexican league, and I watch that league a lot. And most of them don't even stand out there. When I watch them, it's the worst Mexico team I've seen. Now, this is a sentiment shared by a lot of the media and the fan base in Mexico currently. They are not very high on this version of the Mexico team. I think some of it is a bit overblown personally. I think this always is going to happen in national teams where the cycle ends and you've got to bring in new guys. And I think, Liga MX is not a baby league either. So I don't think it's an indictment on them to say, boy, it's a lot of Mexican league players. But at the same time, one makes a good point. Some of these guys, and I follow the league not as much as a lot of others, but Daddy, I know a bunch of players. And a lot of these players, I had to do a bit of research. So that's new for Mexico for me. Normally, I would know them just from watching CONCACAF Champions League or something.
And most of them are, and because most, more often than not, Mexico's national team is comprised of players playing in Europe.
Correct. And a part of that is, some of these guys that have gone to Europe have returned. But yeah, a lot of it is just they had options in Europe and they didn't go with them. Raul Jimenez is there, they didn't pick him. So yeah, let's just look at what I thought could potentially be the starting lineup in this game.
By the way, Jay, sorry, just in case anybody in the chat is interested, I just hear that Sha'Carri Richardson win the U.S. Olympic trials in 1088.
Not bad. 1088. So, is that a world lead or somebody ran 1079?
I think Julian Alfred ran faster than that the other day.
Yeah, Alfred ran very fast at it was our stadium, wasn't it?
At Racers, yeah.
I think she ran 1079, I want to say, but somebody can
1080 low. 1080 faster than Sha'Carri. Okay,
yeah. All right. So, like I said, people, I'm gonna show you, and this is just from research of the games I've seen leading up. This is potentially what I think Lozano will throw tomorrow. It will be some variation of a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. I think more than likely to be a 4-3-3, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you. So I think Gonzalez will be the goalkeeper. He is the most experienced of the three. He is the goalkeeper for Pumas, and he started both of the friendlies that I thought was most like what we'll probably see against Uruguay and Brazil. So I'm going to put him in the goal, 33 years of age, but the age is a bit misleading because I believe he's only played four appearances or something, or two. I think the last two games were his first two.
Yeah.
So at 33 years of age to get the number one role is a big step for him. So we'll see what he looks like coming in. Now Cesar Montes playing in Spain now. I'm going to put him back here in the back four on this side. I know the coach has been playing Alvarez there sometimes. I don't believe Alvarez will start there. I believe he'll play just ahead of them. And at times, he'll drop back and make it a back three when they're building up. So it could look like a back three in gameplay, but I'm just going to put it how they'll probably start, when they put the graphic up before the game starts. Johan Vasquez, top defender, playing in Serie A. Both of these guys, though, Montes and Vasquez, they do not like pace. They hate it, as a matter of fact. Montes especially. Vasquez is a little more nimble, but I think Vasquez is one that, he'll have to watch his tackling because he's prone to getting yellow cards. He does not shy out of a challenge at all. I think Jorge Sanchez will be playing on this right side. I think Arteaga, who has taken over from Gallardo, will play on this side. Alvarez, as I said, at the base. I think sometimes he goes with Romo and Chavez, but I think against Jamaica he'll be a little braver, and we'll probably see Rodriguez get the nod. Either Rodriguez or Sanchez, but I'm gonna go with Rodriguez as one of the, I guess you could say, double eights, and I'm gonna say he's gonna actually play Romo with Rodriguez. That could easily be Chavez. So Romo or Chavez, honestly, and Rodriguez, or could be Chavez as well as Romo. But I'm thinking it's going to look like this. Then for the forwards, I believe that the darkest participant from Mexico, Quinones, will start.
In their history.
In their history, yes.
In fact,
Naturalized Mexican.
first and only black man ever to play for Mexico.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know, I didn't even mention this before, but of the players left out, one of which is Chucky Lozano, who has been a mainstay. He's not in the team. They have gone for some more youth in those areas, but still have Antuna and Vega there. And Orbelin Pineda is still around as well. Fell down the pecking order a bit lately for Mexico, so I don't think he'll start. I do think Santi Jimenez is the one that they're expecting to get on the goal scoring charts for them now. Really has not panned out for him in the Mexican shirt as yet, and he's one that I think is under immense pressure from the fans, but I think he will get the start. And I'm going to say that he's going to go with Antuna on this right side. Now, this right side could be, you know, Antuna, Alvarado. You know, there's a lot of options there. But again, this is the 11 that I think we'll see. Could be one or two faces different from this, but I think it'll be some variation of this. Again, in gameplay, typically, what tends to happen is these guys will push high. They spread a bit, and Alvarez drops. So when they're in possession, it looks like this a lot. Roma will stay a bit deeper and connect, and Rodriguez will kind of take up these little pockets of space to move the ball forward, and these guys all get higher up the pitch. So it kind of morphs into like a 3-4-3, but you know, when they're out of possession, this is mainly what it's going to look like right here. So that is my crack at what I think the Mexicans will look like tomorrow. If you guys are watching, screenshot this, clip this, and you can see how good my research was.
Go back to them in possession. Show me again what you think they look like in possession.
All right, so let me do this.
Because my initial reaction to the visual was that we're going to get overrun in the middle third.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna show you again with this graphic, and that's why I like doing this in real time, because it kind of gives you an idea of how much the game really changes while it's happening, right? So, as I said, I think Roma will fall into that spot where Alvarez will vacate when they have the ball. I think Rodriguez will have license to pretty much roam and find pockets of space to collect. So he could be anywhere in this middle channel somewhere. Of course, Jimenez will be pushed higher up the pitch, and Tuna will be high and wide, right? Quinones won't hug the touchline quite as much as Antuna. He kind of has a license to get into the half space at times and let Arteaga, you know, go beyond him. But let's just say they're building out from the back. It's probably going to look something like this, right? He'll be wide, and he'll be somewhere in this area. And what I was getting at, that when we're out of possession for prolonged periods, I want Bobby Reed, right, and Gray to kind of just slide a little more infield, right?
And clog.
And I want this 5 when they're in possession to be connected, right?
That's the box we were talking about.
Correct. And let's say, you know, the ball, everyone is shifted to our left side of defense, right? That means Gray will get a little more over here. Palmer will slide. He will slide. Bobby might end up all the way over here somewhere. Or, you know, Antonio can drop. And at all times, no matter where the ball is, we can create that box of 4. And the
Correct. So
reason for that is
you're seeing it in a diagonal shape now. If we all shift to their attacking right, and you would see the same shape on the other side, and I think that's what it's great that you have this tool now, because that's sort of, I watch as many of the games in the Euro as I can, and it is such a feature of what teams do when they are out of possession, and how they move in unison to keep whatever the shape is, whether it's a box, a diamond, a triangle, whatever the shape that the coach's tactics determine should be kept, they do it. It's pure synchronicity. It's a wonderful thing to watch. And that's, I think, and I think that's what differentiates us from other teams at this point in our
me.
development as a team under Hallgrimson. We're not quite there yet. We're not quite as synchronized as I think he wants us to be, and certainly I want us to be. We just don't have that yet.
Yeah. I think that's as you said, being able to show people the thoughts that I'm having in real time is awesome. So shout out to this tactical pod thing. I believe that I'm gonna subscribe to it, which will give me the option to have even more things going on, because I can actually preset all the phases of play and where the players will be. So look out for me utilizing this tool even more moving forward, people. I think I found the one that I love. Another thing that's cool about this data that I didn't show you, and I'll show the people as well, because really and truly, Dad, for the first time, I'm going to allow call-ins just for the last 30 minutes of this, just to get some takes from some people. Maybe if they want to drop their team as well, I can put it on the screen for them. But before I drop the number for the call-ins, I just want to show you guys something I thought that was really cool about this thing. So if you go here and you go to 3D, you literally can look at the team in a stadium view, which I thought is kind of cool. It gives you the little diagram here at the top that shows you where the players are. And like I said before, when I eventually subscribe to this, I'll be able to actually set up video animations and show plays and movements, which I think is going to be awesome and definitely bring something new to the space. So looking forward to playing with this thing, and you guys can be right along as I learn it, because I think this thing is really cool. So yeah, this is really nice. And let me just get out of here and show you guys again one last time. This was my team that I would like to see start tomorrow. 3-4-2-1, 5-5-4-1, whatever you want to call it. But this is what it would look like on paper. And just as a reminder, I did actually save Dad's. So let me save this one as mine. JGTV First Mexico. And let me open Dad's now. All right, so this was Dad's team, the 4-2-3-1.
So the difference is, apart from the difference in formation, I have Hector, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have Samar, you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the two changes in personnel.
No,
well, you have Lambert.
I have Hector Lambert and Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have any of those.
I have Bernard, Latti, and Antonio.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's the main changes. I think the system change kind of caused that. Of course, we went different like for like strikers, and I just thought, my thought process was with the extra center back cover and the two wing back system, especially when we defend, it's actually 5. I thought we could maybe get away with just being a little more disciplined in that area, as opposed to just saying, okay, you are the man tasked with getting the ball. And I think against Mexico, really, you're setting up that person to have a rough time, because what we're just talking about moving the ball quickly, that's literally what Mexico does. So, if I think it's going to be more of a collective effort for us to get the ball from them than one man being able to just destroy them. I don't think that's going to work.
By the way, I think it's interesting that neither of us have Nana in the starting 11.
Yeah, I think as I said before, like I'm gonna put And you guys will have to reach out on WhatsApp, okay? So this is the WhatsApp calling number. I'm going to run the show for another about 25 minutes. I'm going to do 2 hours on the dot.
By the way, this is the score tomorrow night. See?
Wait, say one love.
I mean,
I love to give them a Bob Marley, you know. All right, WhatsApp call this number, people. And Fresh, just pin that if you can. So that's the WhatsApp calling number. Don't call me straight. 8845. All right, go and do the thing. Let's see if I can pin it. Yeah, people. So WhatsApp, call me now if you want to give a take. You want to put your team on the screen. Just let me know.
So Guna, I going to come out of this and just watch along on the stream.
Yeah, man. Respect for forwarding on into the discussion. Enjoyed it as usual. Nothing different than the phone call we would have made tonight anyway.
Yeah.
Whoever that was calling me, just call back.
No, somebody was calling you. Okay, your uncle was calling me.
Okay. True.
Anyway, I going to follow Scotty's advice and leave the studio. Blessings.
All right, big up. Yeah, people. So that was Dad dropping his take on what he thought, and I left his team on the screen as well. But yeah, if anybody want to call in, just let me know. I see Unseen did want to join, but wasn't really planning to drop any link. But I definitely will take phone calls if people want to give their take about what they saw between our two teams. Let me fix that and put the opposition back on the field so we can see playing them. I'll just drop back the team that I thought was going to play. Vasquez. Yeah, man, call in, people. Drop in the comments. Even if you don't want to call, just drop your team in the chat and I will save it in here. And if anything, I'll post these teams in the community tab. I'll let the people them vote on the team and everything and see what them think. But this right here that I'm putting on the screen is what I think Mexico is going to start out with. I believe they're going to play a 4-3-3. Romo. As I said before, it could be Romo, could be Chavez, could be Sanchez. But I think they're going to go with Rodriguez. And then a lot of options for wingers on the right, but I'm going to say Antuna and Quinones and Santi. So that's how I think they will start the game. All right, let me save this again now. So that is versus Mexico and mine. Cool. Yeah, man, people. One thing about the tactical part, and I like it. I like this still, you know. Me hear you talk about this club maker thing from night, you know, Travis. I wish for a club maker there. On your side, are you still there, town? Yo, 40 years old. Yo, you know, say Travis, baller like Guerrero give me hope, you know, man. Because my days not supposed to done already, you know. I could have get called again, you know. Last time I get called, I go to one training camp. I play 2 practice match. I'm scoring at 2 of them. And the man them tell me, say, them won't need my services, you know. Squad pick already. Yeah, Fresh, it bad, bro. I'm not telling a lie. Like, this bad is a shame. I'm going to tell you the truth, Fresh. You see, this part, this 3D part, brother, the amount of things I can do in this. I just the tip of the surface may I show on upon this right there, so brother. This bad dog. I really rate this. Can make the player them look like some giant or some midget. But yeah, the way all this thing detail, watch out. All right, let's say I pick on a player. I want to show him a boss a tackle. Yo, this is bad. When I say I want to see him buck a ball. See him go up for the head of it. Oh, want to see my dribble, shoot, buck. Yeah, so this thing awesome, bro. Cause when you really do it, you can literally set up patterns of play where you want them look when them receive the ball, the triggers, all of them thing there. Yeah, man, it's a wicked thing, bro. Wicked thing. Man can change the stadium, make it nighttime, turn on the lights. We can put fans in the crowd. Yeah, man, it's bad, man. Bad. Yeah, so when I say everybody I use it, you can know, say, yo, Jason Guna, I get this from. Yeah, man, when I'm a coach, brethren, them tell me about it, man. I think we did show it one time before, like when we did first start make videos. I'll make sure I bring it back for tonight, star. This bad. And I have to big up my daughter, Gabby. My daughter Gabby loading, I give her the squad list. She loading the player them. I tell her make the keeper them jersey different. She do that for me. So yeah, man, respect Gabby for, you know, assisting me in getting this created, because I tell her say it was going to be a rush to get all the info put in for 8 o'clock start time. You know, say me's a brother will do my show them late. But true, me didn't know me don't want daddy joining in the discussion tonight. And I know him have a big day tomorrow, him have to travel. Just still want to knock it out early in the night so him could participate as well. And I'm sure I'm glad to say him forward, can give him take. And as you can see, even though we are father and son, we don't necessarily see the game the same. So yeah. One say, I'm not even sure about all the positions in my team. I just know I'm playing 3-5-2 with Antonio and Gray up front. Probably Harding, Hector, Pinnock at the back. Okay. So they say, rate it. Yeah, man, it bad, man. Big up yourself, you know, Chris. Yeah, anybody, I see nobody now call in, but that's cool. If you don't want to call in, just drop on the squads in the comments, and I will definitely put them on the screen. I know earlier some people did drop some comments, so I'm gonna scroll up into the comments and try to find them. I know Fresh did put a team, so I'm gonna say Fresh team. All right, so Fresh said 3-4-3. Wait, Pinnock, Hector, Latibo there, Lee Lembakisa. All right, so this is Fresh. So I'm saying 3-4-3. Lembakisa. Wait, Pinnock, Hector. So Pinnock must be on the left, Hector there, so. And who did it say, Lati? Yeah, Lati. So I'm sure Lambert now starting on your team, no? We can take off him. Bring on Low. And who else not there? You never start Anderson. Bring on Lati. Lee Lembakisa. Low, Reed, Gray, Cephas, Nicholson. Reed, Gray. Low, Reed. Okay, so Reed a play. So Lati a play back here, so Reed a play here, so. And then Cephas instead of Palmer. Where is he? Cephas. All right, so that is Fresh lineup right there, people. Going with a 3-4-3. Dropping Bobby into the central midfield where we have seen him playing a lot lately. So Fresh, let me know if I have that set out right. I think it should be. So that is Fresh God team, people. I'm going to go to this and save it as theme 1. Fresh 11 v Mexico. All right, that's a fresh. So me leave fresh squad on there for a second. Oh, it look fresh. Oh, it look. Let me know if that is what your squad want to be. I think I got the positioning correct. I'm assuming you want Pinnock on the left side, Gray on the left, and Cephas right. Nicholson through the middle. All right, him said that is it. All right, fresh, I save it. So that means I can throw it in the community tab and make the people them see it. Oh, so that can't lose. All right, so that's a fresh team. I save it. Who else? Let's see another person drop a team. You know, was it Travis? I think it was Travis. You know. But I forgot see that again. I forgot send it again. Not impressed by their team, bro. The midfield is not okay, but the front line is poor and the defenders ain't great either. Yeah, I think the midfield is the strongest part of the Mexico team, honestly. I think the defense can be gotten at, and I think they have holes in the attack. Okay, Chris Smith. All right, Chris, I'm going to throw your team up. Who keeping? Wait. Let me know if it's wait, Chris. Yeah, no, I figured out what it didn't mean, because I figured that was the part you were saying was good, just based on what I know. Yeah, fresh team can go on, you know. I think the key to this is just making sure that you're gonna have to figure out how to fix that 2 in midfield thing, because when we are back into a 5, that midfield gets sticky. And as some people in the chat were saying, you don't want to really have Gray or Cephas working so much. And I think for it to work, they're gonna have to tuck in field, getting closer to Low and Reed to give them a little more help in that midfield area. So that's the only part about this that I don't love. It's a part of the reason why I kind of went with a more 3-4-2-1, just because I don't want to get outnumbered in those spaces behind that first line of press, which tends to happen sometimes with us. Okay, Chris going for boys clock. All right, so that's the first one tonight. You know, when I was talking about my team, I was very close, very, very close to putting boys clock in, but my reasoning behind it was just, I don't know if I want this to be like his first start, you know? I don't know. But I guess what time like the present and Chris feel that way. So I'll throw Chris team up and Chris say, yo, boys clock to my thing. All right, so Pinnock, Bernard, and Joel. And you can correct me if I don't have it right on the screen. So you're also okay. So you went with the same 3 that I went with. I didn't start Hector either. Dish. And I want to say the way it reads is Pinnock, Bernard, and Joel, but I'm not sure if the Pinnock's supposed to be in the middle. So let me know if that's different or correct. Okay. So for the first time, I know Chris Smith is not starting Nana. So he said West in the 6, Bobby. I think he said Casey. I don't think he's starting Cephas either. Where's Casey? Okay. And then wing backs like so. And then it was 2 strikers, right? I know Dimmy's 1. Drop these guys back a little more. So Dimmy, and Antonio. All right, so that is Chris Smith lineup there. So a 3-5-2. Harden just in behind them. They should be a little bit more. Yeah, so that is Chris Smith team there. 3-5-2. Harden playing a little deeper than Reed and Palmer. Lee and Lembekis are the wing backs. And let me just see if he's okay with Bernard in the middle. Chris Smith definitively says, okay, it was Pinnock in the middle. Had a feeling. Does it matter which side you have Bernard? Because I actually had it this way. Just because I saw Latibo there play there in the Nations League, I thought he looked fine on the left. So I'm just gonna take a shot and think that it's that way. Chris says this is the best team to play Mexico. Yeah, I agree with this one. We need midfielders. Travis said next year the midfielders are rolling. I hope you're right, Travis. One thing people need to realize, a couple of the players like Dixon, Boyce, Clark, Marshall, King, Karai have likely never played in front of crowds this size. The stadium is going to be 90% Mexican. Yeah, bravo. 72,000 capacity. I would say about 65,000 going to be Mexican. Yeah, it's going to be a away game. Okay, Chris, I was right. I still figured. All right, so that's Chris Smith team, people. Like the balance of this one. Gray and Antonio, I think that's a better pairing for two strikers. One foil, one that's going to really push back the defense. So they have more defined roles, I think, with these two. I think this gives us a lot more cover in this middle area. Even if we get pushed back into a true back five, we still will have that 3 plus these two making up a nice 5 in these, half spaces that Mexico tend to operate in. At times they're going to overload the wings as well. So Palmer will have to be ready to get out and cover on this side. Same goes for Bobby. And when that happens, hopefully one of the two strikers drop in so we don't lose that numbers in the midfield. But yeah, I don't hate this, Chris. I don't hate this at all. Let me save this one as well. Because I said people, I'm probably going to, like when I'm saving all of these, I'll probably post them to the community tab and let people, drop them ratings for it or discuss it and everything. So, yeah, that's a good idea. So, Chris Smith versus Mexico 11. All right, that's Chris. The bench is weak, boy. That is a fact. That is a fact. I know you kind of missed the show, Chris. Maybe if you have time, you can watch it back. But when my dad and I were kind of discussing the team, that was one of the main things we looked at, just especially in the midfield area, like just not many options. If you look at who's on the bench right now from your team, Chris Smith, in midfield especially, we're talking about Alex Marshall, who's, probably not really a true midfielder anyway, more of an attacking midfielder type player / winger. Karai Anderson, probably the one that you'd say, yes, he's an option off the bench. Lambert as well, another option off the bench. Maybe not an option for you, but an option for the coach. Damian Lowe off the bench. Hector has played midfield before, so maybe he could play, some minutes there if we need. So, I think the coach is leaning heavily on the versatility of the players. But yeah, I think that the squad is a bit unbalanced when you look at it, and it especially gets more glaring when you see 11 on the pitch and then you look at the bench and try to see how you would change things. There's areas that we're definitely lacking a bit in. But hey, we have what we have. We're going into the tournament. I believe in them. I think they can do it. I feel like this Mexico team right now is a bit uncertain of what they are going to do and how well they're going to do. This game looks like it's going to be the first scoreless draw of the Copa as of right now. We're in the 89th minute. Ben Burton Diaz begging a penalty but not getting it. Alexis Sanchez playing the whole game. Wow. Okay, so Chris said maybe low off the bench would be an option. My dad started Kevin Lambert. Do you think he could provide some of that as well, or low would be your go-to for the putting in the tackle spot? How is that putting on the players? It's called being analytical. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not Travis not really subscribe to that. I think there's too many YouTube coaches and stuff. You know, I understand that sentiment because there are too many that are so-called coaches, but I would hope that I've earned Travis' respect enough to know that this is not an exercise about, you know, putting down players. This is just literally trying to analyze and say, yo, this is what I think will work the best for us to win. Now, all of us obviously won't be right. Some of us will be wrong, but I think these discussions are instructive because hopefully somebody that doesn't know or doesn't like think this deeply about stuff could have learned something tonight. That's really the aim, right? Because the more knowledgeable the fans, the more accountable we can hold the JFF and the people that make the decisions, right? It doesn't take much weight if you're going up and, you know, you have no idea what a counter press is and what, you know, and I'm not saying all of you need to be well versed in these things, but you know, you should have a nice base knowledge so that you can hold yourself in conversations. And as I said, it will further help you hold the powers that be that make decisions accountable. So that's the goal, people. You want to improve your knowledge of the football. That should be the goal. I think the only team that I don't put up was Trevis' team. So Trevis, okay, see it here. Boom. You know, have to drop it again, Trevis. We'll find it. All right, so this is the other squad that I know I saw. I know one said a 3-5-2, but him don't know the name them. So we're not gonna pressure one for give you the name them. But I'm gonna put, I think Travis have a 4-4-2. All right, so Travis Hallgrimson here with a 4-4-2. I don't say you rate your last name in a Travis. I mean, I mean no disrespect by that, but it's a Hallgrimson style here forward with. So Jamali Waite. Before the start beat Travis or Chris Smith, people. This is not the actual lineup. I'm just going to create the 4-4-2 and then I'm going to change the names. All right. So don't start custom man. This is not his team. Just give me a minute, people. I never know when we reposition them would have gone and I fill them half. All right. So I think this guy is not going to be there. Let's see. Is it Pinnock him start? Yeah, Hector and Pinnock. Don't think him starting Harding. Dexter, where's Greg? Greg got to left back, my youth. And Hector drop back in the defense. Pretty sure low Bobby Palmer Gray. So yeah, you want you want Bobby Central. Let me know if you want Bobby Central, Travis. See him there. Low Bobby Gray Antonio Boza. So Gray must be gonna be over here. So you want Palmer out here? Where you want Palmer? Central or right? I know you want him on the field. Sorry, Kaheem. Travis never start you. Start Antonio. And Bowser. So Travis, I tried the two bulldozer them again. So that's the 4-4-2 Travis going with. I think. And then will let me know if I have that mix up. Let me see. Travis, stop cuss and let me know, no, man. Travis, stop cuss people and let me know if this correct before I save it. Travis, just pause the cussing for 5 seconds and you can go right back to cussing. But let me know if I have it on the screen correct before I save it. I don't know if you want to read right or Palmer right or what. All right, so Travis, you see, you can't cuss me, you know. Actually, no. Why would Travis do that? Almost the way Travis would have want it because I saw the coach always put it. So I think Travis will go against the coach. All right, so that's Travis lineup, people. 4-4-2. So I've saved all these lineups, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post them to the community chat so people can see them. So the local and overseas war start. I don't know how that drop in. All right, Travis, I'm going to say that this is it, right? So save as Travis Peso 11 v Mexico. All right, so that is all the teams we're going to do for the night, people. And again, I just want to say big up to everyone that passed through tonight. Thought this was a great exercise. Got a little more in depth than some other programs, but I think this is the way that I really like to do it. And the game has ended 0-0, people. So point apiece for Peru and Chile. I think both managers will be fine with that. Obviously, Argentina and Canada left in the group for them to play. So they can at least say that they're not in last place in the group. They both get the point. So 0-0. That's actually 2 0-0s in a row. And after the Euro had 22 games without a 0-0. It only took 2 games for the Copa to get one. So 0-0 in Arlington. And we move on to Group B tomorrow, where all 4 teams will be playing each other. Ecuador, Venezuela will be at 6 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock in Jamaica, and then Jamaica, Mexico at 9 my time, 8 in Jamaica for the kickoff. So after this, people, the work doesn't end. YouTube is I won't say it's a full-time job. It can be a full-time job if that's what you want it to be. But for me, it's not. I still have other means of employment. But the work on the channel doesn't stop. I'm going to make my thumbnails for tomorrow's game. Look out for me to get cracking somewhere between 7:30 and 7:45 just before the lineups drop. Of course, there'll be a multitude of places that you can enjoy the game. And I suggest that you give everybody a view and like them stuff. And then you just pick where you want your home to be for the evening. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're going to get with me. Analysis. Keep it 1,000. You know, as we get closer to game time, you know, there's a percentage fight war going on in my brain because I'm a Jamaica fan, obviously. I would love for Jamaica to win. But as I analyze the football and the metrics and everything that's at play, at some point, I have to be 1,000 and keep it real. I can't just come and tell it blindly. Tree love Jamaica, you know, that's not me. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, I can't give you that. It's just not in my nature to do so. But typically, once it gets down to the nitty-gritty of picking the score right before the game, worse than a draw is not really it. I don't think I've ever predicted on a stream that Jamaica will lose. I don't think so. I think I've always gone draw. Even at the Gold Cup semi-final, I think I said draw, like 1-1 or something. So yeah, we'll see what tomorrow holds. If you know my group prediction, you'll know I'm probably gonna have a favorable prediction for Jamaica tomorrow. So yeah, we'll leave it at that, people. As I said before, look out for the information that will forward out tonight. I will be making all the thumbnails. Definitely going to do a live watch along stream. That will be 9 o'clock. Game done 11-ish. I'll probably set 2 streams. I'll have a game time stream and then I'll go right into the post match afterwards as well. So big up to all the people in the building that checked in. You know, from One Chris Smith, Brent Garden from early out gave the super chat. Respect my brother. Hot Chili, Travis Pass Through, Upla, Bravo, Raid Squadron, Chris Smith as well, of course. Who else in the building now? One we big up already. Fresh, of course, they both. Yeah, I think I missed a lot of the conversation in the comment section, but it looked like most of it is just you guys having a back and forth banter, which is good for the show. The comments helps the algorithm as well. So respect everybody, staying engaged, dropping their comments. I hope Unseen, big up yourself. I hope you never take that personal, my brother. But I wasn't really planning on opening up any stream here today. But I was gonna, go ahead and take some call-ins. But it looked like people have a lot going on, and I understand. I'm sure it's 10 o'clock now, so I'm sure some other places are also streaming. But again, this one is our educational piece. Should be good to watch back. If anything, I should probably edit down this video and try to condense it into like maybe my dad's portion of when he was talking about his team and mine. So yeah, look out for some condensed version videos if I have the time to do so. But first and foremost, I'm gonna make some thumbnails, drop them. Go ahead and go to it as soon as you see the thumbnail drop a like button. Again, that's gonna help tomorrow while the game's going on to get me out there in the algorithm. Yeah, man, any kind of help that you can give is greatly appreciated, and look forward to seeing the game with you guys tomorrow. You know my style. I'll do some commentary, some fun reaction in real time, some anecdotes as well to make people laugh and have some fun during the game. Hopefully we're not here with the long face balling about the score, and everybody tomorrow will just be in a euphoric state and just happy that Jamaica got the job done. So big up to my people. Enjoy the show tonight, and until next time, people, wanna walk good, manners and respect, and we're out of here, people. Big up on yourself. Blessings.